Hey you, Dave here, and I've been working on my skills with electrical type stuff by customizing Funko Pops. As an adorable young kid, I spent a decent amount of time talking like Jawa, which may have been one of the reasons I got put into speech therapy. That and having trouble with t and s sounds. Anyway, my son and I really enjoy The Mandalorian, and since a friend of his loves all things Star Wars, we thought he would like an old school Jawa with an egg from the new series, along with a sound system full of Jawa noises. Now I just have to figure out how to use a sound card with speakers and make a hairy, muddy egg. You know, typical stuff. The Jawa gets broken down into parts so I could drill a hole through the body for the wiring to eventually go through. I've noticed that every Funko Pop has been different in the way the body connects to the base, along with the feel and thickness of the plastic used. So, going slow and increasing the drill bit sizes for gradually wider holes continue to work well. Not just for the body, but the eyes too. The head gets clamped down so it doesn't move around while the eye holes are made exactly the size needed for the acrylic circles. Our local library has a makerspace area, so I was able to reserve some time on the laser cutter and get some colored acrylic cut to shape. One of the things about the Jawas is you just don't know what's going on underneath their hoods, besides their light up eyes. It's like a black hole of enigmatic intrigue up in there. So I'm going to try and make the Funko Pop more like that, and start by grinding down the face until it's relatively smooth. Black 3.0 is a paint I haven't used before, but it claims to be the blackest black available, and that makes me want to see if it'll make the face disappear. We'll see what happens. Next is the eyes. I had the laser cutter also create some circles with interior holes to make it easier to center the LEDs. This works great, and then electrical tape is used for light blocking, so the only thing glowing is the eyes. The base is going to be a combination of wood for strength and foam for shaping. Drilled some space underneath for all the electronics, and then attached the foam so it could be cut to form. This is my first time making a Tatooine landscape, and I think it went well. I mean, it looks kinda rocky, so that's good. The foam got covered with a mix of Mod Podge and brown acrylic paint as a base. The button to turn the sound effects on and off is going to be put into the egg, so the housing around it needs to be trimmed to fit. In the show, it looks like the inside of the eggshell is white, so the button housing gets a few coats of paint, and then it's time to make the egg. Thankfully, it was Easter recently, so there were plenty of egg-type products to choose from at a local craft store. This egg is a little bit bigger than what we see in the show, but the button fits inside, so we're going to go with it. The egg button gets wires attached, and since it could get confusing which wires supply power to the light and which wires connect to sound, the wires for sound get some green tape attached to them. A little more wire to the Jawa eye lights, and then the head gets put back on the body. The button gets hot glued into place, and it's definitely going to stay put. Making this egg is a perfect example of sometimes things not looking good until right at the very end. I mean, seriously, this didn't look good for a very long time. I could hear the egg telling me, Dave, all the Jawas and everyone on the internet is gonna think that I look horrible. And then all of a sudden, it looked right. At least it did to me. At least as right as a hairy and muddy egg can look. All the power type stuff got prepped, and to make it a little easier to connect with a cord, I held the port at an angle while the hot glue cooled. The power cord is a built-in button, which is great because then the base won't have to be flipped over every time my son's friend wants to turn it on. For strain relief, a path got marked where the cord is going to be connected to the base. The only sound card I could get requires batteries to be used, which isn't bad, but I'd like to find one that can be connected to the main power with everything else. Regardless, this one was really easy to load up with Jawa noises. Since this sound card might get replaced, it's attached with screws and then wired to the egg button. The strain relief channel gets dremeled and then the cord is hot glued into place. This stops any stress on the connection between the cord and the port. Feed pads get installed, and then it's time to start making all the electrical connections. Which is exactly when my problem started, because I didn't know that the yellow LED inside the egg button required a different amount of power than the yellow LEDs inside the eyes. So yeah, I accidentally blew out the LED in the egg, and there was no way to get to it and fix it without destroying the hairy, muddy egg. which kinda also looks like a tiny kiwi. It was frustrating, but after a relaxing dog walk, I decided to remake the egg. Sure, the power to the speakers still worked with the first button, but I wanted the LED to light up. Because there's nothing worse than Jawas not having an egg that looks like it's glowing. That's just my opinion. The good news is, I'd already made one hairy muddy egg, so the second one was quicker and easier to make. And I knew it would eventually look good by the time I was finished. Along with the new addition of a resistor, everything got connected for real this time. Hey, it works. The snack for this episode is Pocky Matcha Green Tea Cream Covered Biscuit Sticks. If you have absolutely nothing else available to eat, and like some crunch, alright, this snack could work for you. I guess if I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating, this would be pretty good. The Jawa, egg, and some additional foam rocks got hot glued to the base, and then a glue wash was brushed on so sand could be applied. After a few more rocks got added, I wanted to change the color of the environment so the Jawa and egg would pop a little more. Did some weathering to push the contrast, and then a few coats of black 3.0 to the base. Last things to do were take off the protective tape, connect power, push the egg button, and now it's fog machine time. And this is a talkative Jawa with his egg. There will be some bumps along the way, but it's definitely worth the effort to grow the unique skills that you've been given and make for others.